Hello everyone. So we have already covered GLM 4.5, which was released earlier. Now we have GLM 5 released as well. So we'll review GLM 5. So let's get started. So this is the article or blog shared by GLM, basically the company Z.ai. So it is basically GLM 5 from vibe coding to agentic engineering. Okay, so they are shifting the gears from vibe coding to agentic engineering. We'll see how. As we already know from GLM 4.5, it was very good in agentic part. It was like it was leading in agentic. Like we compared reasoning, coding, agentic. In reasoning and coding, it was lagging behind, but in agentic, it was still quite good. So we'll explore this one. We are launching GLM-5 targeting complex system engineering and long horizon agentic task. Okay, so they want to focus on complex engineering and then the task which requires context for a longer horizon. Scaling is still one of the most important ways to improve intelligence efficiency of artificial general intelligence, AGI. Okay. Compared to GLM 4.5, GLM 5 scales from 355 billion parameter, out of which 32 billion is active. So this was GLM 4.5. Now we have GLM 5, which is 744 billion parameter. It's quite like it's almost double, and it activates only 40 billions out of it, which is quite good, and increases pre-training data from 23 trillion to 28.5 trillion token. Okay, token training data has increased as well. GLM-5 also integrates DeepSeek Sparse Attention, okay, significantly reducing deployment cost while preserving long context capacity. So they have utilized sparse attention, uh, some research from DeepSeek to make sure that after their model is pre-trained, we can easily deploy it with minimal, basically, storage and things required. Reinforcement learning aims to bridge the gap between competence and excellence in pre-trained model. Okay. So basically, reinforcement learning, they have tried to reduce the gap between competence and excellence, like what it can do and what it does in pre-trained model, which were already there. However, deploying it as a skill for LLM is a challenge due to RL training inefficiency. Okay. To this end, we developed Slime, a novel asynchronous reinforcement learning infrastructure that substantially improves training throughput and efficiency. So they are improving on infrastructure which helps in reinforcement learning or pre-training of the model, enabling more fine-grained post-training iteration. With advances in both pre-training and post-training, GLM-5 delivered significant improvement compared to GLM 4.7 across a wide range of academic benchmarks and achieves best-in-class performance among all open source models in the world of reasoning, coding, agentic tasks, and closing the gap with frontier models. So we had covered 4.5. We have not yet touched on 4.7. I have used it personally, but we have not covered on this channel. We'll see if we can cover in future. So basically, they have tried to improve on the infra, pre-training, post-training, and everything. So let's see the benchmarks. LLM performance evolution, agentic reasoning including. So there are multiple benchmarks like Humanity Last Resort, SWE-bench, SWE-bench multilingual, Terminal bench. So we'll see SWE-bench first. So when we are comparing it with SWE-bench, we can clearly see that Anthropic is the leader. Then OpenAI is the leader. Anthropic, I guess, Claude Opus 4.5 and GPT 5.2 XR. Okay. And then, but this is better than Gemini 77.8, which is basically nothing but GLM-5. So GLM-5 have surpassed Gemini, but it is still falling behind Anthropic and OpenAI GPT 5.2. Similarly, for multilingual terminal bench, BrowseComp we can see. BrowseComp they are leading again, as I mentioned, like for Agentic and other terms, they are basically taking a leap. Similarly, MCP Atlas, you can see they are almost ahead, except OpenAI. Humanity last exam, they have surpassed everyone, it seems. And Terminal Bench 2.0, they are just behind Anthropic. And for Vending Bench 2, they are behind Gemini and Anthropic both. So, somewhat they are still chasing around. GLM-5 is designed for complex system engineering and long horizon agentic tasks. On our internal evaluation suite, CC-bench V2, GLM-5 significantly outperformed GLM 4.7 across front-end, back-end, and long horizon tasks, narrowing the gap to Claude Opus 4.5. I have, we can validate this. I have heard that GLM 4.5 was basically good for multi-file refactoring, as agentic piece of it is really good. So ideally, even GLM-5 should be really good for large-scale refactoring tasks. CC Bench V2, comparing GLM 4.7 with GLM 5 versus Claude Opus 4.5. So now they have dropped other comparison. They are directly competing with GLM Opus 4.5. Let's see. For front end, build success rate, end-to-end correctness. So if we see build success rate, GLM 4.7, basically GLM 5 is leading uh, by 26%, better than basically 4.7. And end-to-end correctness, Claude is winning. For backend, again, Claude is the winner. Large repo exploration, this is better, GLM-5. And multi-step chain task, Anthropic is again a winner. So for front end, they have taken a leap, but for multi-step chain task, they are claiming long horizon, but looks like multi-step chain tasks still they are falling behind. On vending bench 2, a benchmark that measures long-term operational capacity, the long-term operation capacity, GLM-5 ranks number one among open source models. Okay, they are not comparing with closed source model. Vending Bench 2 requires the model to run a simulated vending machine business over a 1 year horizon. GLM-5 finishes with the final account balance of this, approaching Claude Opus 4.5 and demonstrating strong long-term planning and resource management. Yeah, so this is again an opinion. I have heard that still the models that are being developed uh, are not really good in terms of planning. Uh, Planning cannot comment on the resource management. So that is the reason. Like if you ask with plan something needs to be done, they are really good at doing it. But if you ask them to do planning as well, then they struggle. They hallucinate. So they are approaching Claude Opus 4.5, but it would be really good to see how even Claude Opus is doing in terms of planning. Like, in my opinion, uh, like all the models struggle with the planning, like not to the benchmark. Money balance over time. So basically, GLM-5 finishes final account balance. So account balance possibly we need to increase. Money balance over time. So if you see Gemini wins, so planning of Gemini planning and resource management of Gemini is strong, which is clearly visible. Then Claude Opus is strong in planning and resource management. And then GLM-5. OpenAI, they have already beaten it. And then this is, I guess, GLM-5 4.7. This is G, GLM-5, correct? Yep. And this is GLM 4.7. Kimi K.2 moonshot. I thought they should be somewhere here, but they are too behind in terms of planning and resource management. So it means that Kimi models are not good in planning and resource management as of now. Okay, that's good. GLM-5 is open sourced on Hugging Face and Model Scope with model weights released under the MIT license. GLM-5 is also available on developer platforms like this and this with the compatibility with Claude Code and OpenCloud. They have already open sourced it. You can try it free on Z.ai. We'll try in separate video. So now coming here, so we have already compared this benchmark. 8 benchmark, this, but they have covered agentic reasoning and coding, and it's clearly not visible which one is for coding, which one is for agentic. So we'll see if we can grab something from here. So these are the benchmark. So if we see reasoning, in reasoning, if we see something, Kimi K2.5 is beating in humanity last exam. Claude Opus is beating AIME 2026, and Humanity last exam Gemini 3 Pro. Gemini 3 Pro is really good in reasoning. So I can see Humanity last exam tools, with tools, Kimi K2.5 is really good. And without tool, Gemini 3 Pro is good. So Gemini 3 Pro is good in Humanity last exam. And then Kimi K2.5 is like they have shared the data so that we can watch for GLM-5, but it's interesting to see other models as well. GLM 3.0 is good here, and then Humanity last exam is good here, and AIMI open plot of 4.5 is good, and all the three GPT 5.2 is good. So looks like raising GPT 5.2 is taking a lead and many benchmark. Let's see coding. For coding, if we see Claude model, again SWE-bench, they are already leading. They have always been leading in this benchmark. Even multilingual, they are leading. And terminal bench, they are leading. Terminal bench 2.0, everything they are leading. Now, if we compare with them, with GLM-5, they are not far behind. But yeah, for coding, Claude Opus 4.4 with extended thinking is the go-to. Now let's come up with general agent. For general agent, I assume they must be leading. So if you see here, they have given that uh, in this terminal bench 2.2, they are leading with some asterisk terminal bench Claude code. In terminal 2 and in Claude code, they are leading. But overall, this is leading. Similarly, if you see browse comp, they have taken a lead. Others are really falling behind. Browse comp with context manage, again they are leading. Browse comp ZH, OpenAI 5.2x high is leading, and Claude Opus is leading T2 bench. And then again, so if we see majorly open like GPT 5.2x high is good in reasoning, some sort, and general agent, but they are lagging behind in coding. Coding, Claude Opus 4.5 had taken a lead. And vending bench 2, if we see, Gemini is the leader. So basically, They have agentic browse.com, they have taken a leap. For others, they are falling back. But so this particular table gives very good idea. Till now, I was assuming that Gemini 3 is good in reasoning, Claude is good in coding, and agentic piece, GLM models are good. But now I can see OpenAI is good and GLM is good for agentic. And then coding, Opus is good and even GLM models is sort of good. And for reasoning, GPT is good. And for humanity last exam, Gemini is the leader. So I guess that is the reason for general agent Gemini was able to take a leap in vending base too, because here the reasoning must be the game. Refer to the scores of the full set T, a verified version of terminal entry that fixes some ambiguous instruction. Okay, so they in as per them there are some ambiguous instruction. So they have corrected the ambiguity. So basically, they are saying uh, cloud models are good at handling ambiguity than GLM models. Office. Foundation models are moving from chat to work, much like office tools for knowledge workers and programming tools for engineers. GLM 4.5 is a first step for reasoning coding agent, enabling the models to complete complex tasks. With GLM-5 will further enhance complex system engineering and long horizon agent capability. GLM-5 can turn text or source material directly into docs, PDF, Excel, assets, files, PRDs, lesson plans, exams, spreadsheet, fund shape, run sheet, menu mode, deliver end-to-end as ready-to-use document. Our official application, Z.ai is rolling out an agent mode with a built-in skill for PDF disk. I assume given they have tried to beat everything, but they are good in agentic pace. So possibly that is the reason they are pivoting toward open claw and they are mm, creating their like presence, showing their presence there because they can be good in that given their agentic is really good. So now let's see what they have tried to build and what is the instruction or what is the context that they have provided. So that we can get a general sense like how much context and what should be passed. So prompt plus task context. You are writing a visually engaging. Oh, okay. And well-structured sponsorship proposal intended to be delivered as a doc document. So doc document visually engaging and well-structured. Author background, the proposal is written on behalf of US High School Student Council. Purpose of the document, the goal of this document is to present a clear and compelling proposal to potential sponsors in order to secure financial sponsorship for an upcoming school football game or football season. The proposal should introduce the football event, its significance within school and local community, explain how sponsorship funds will be used, clearly outline sponsorship opportunity and benefits for sponsors, demonstrate why sponsoring this event provides meaningful visibility and community engagement, target audience, local businesses, community organization, and potential corporate sponsor interested in youth sports, education, and community involvement. Overall positioning, this is a formal but youth-led sponsorship proposal. The tone should be positive, energetic, and respectful, professional but approachable, community-oriented and sincere. Avoid exaggerated claims or overly commercial language. Require structure and content. Introduction, brief introduction of the school, student council, and football program. Purpose of this sponsorship request about the football event, description of the football game and season, importance of football to school spirit, teamwork, and student life. Expected attendees, attendance, student families, and community member. Use of sponsorship funds. How sponsorship money will be support the events. Emphasis on student benefits and community sponsorship opportunity, different sponsorship level, what sponsor receives at each level, benefits to sponsor, brand visibility, positive association, opportunity for long term. Conclusion and call to action, expression of appreciation, clear next step for interested sponsor, visual and design requirement, very important. The document must be visibly rich and engaging, include and reference visual elements such as photos or image placeholder of football games, players, school spirit event table comparing sponsorship level and benefit. Highlight boxes or call out for key information. Use captions such as image. Our school football team during home table sponsorship level and benefits overview. Visuals should support clarity and excitement, not decoration only. Color and style guidelines use a colorful, energetic, and school-friendly visual. Suggested color pair can be adapted to school color, primary color, section title, deep school color, navy blue or maroons. Secondary color, this accent color, this body text, table header, and alert boxes. Color usage. Use color to create visually hierarchy and excitement. Avoid overly dark and dull. Design ensure good contrast for readability. Writing and layout. Constantly use clear, simple, and friendly. Language paragraph should be short and easy to do not insert line break in the middle of something. Use bullet point and table where ensure the document will well both on screen and in print. Quality of the document should look like a well prepared student council. Sponsor should clearly understand the event, the value of sponsor. To get involved, the final output should be ready to be shared in a doc file without further explanation. So, so example is we can say sponsorship proposal, this. It was too much. Same again, I guess similarly. Objective is there visual storytelling for financial table, recommended visual element, risk, explicit caption. So overall, like lots of detailing has gone. So that's nice. Role, you're a senior Wall Street analyst, expert Python developer specializing in financial data, you're covering alphabet and calculation. Google and Nodeo write a robust event patterns using the data presentation. Okay, so they have given clear instructions. The uploaded PDF this, writing constraint, color palette, financial dashboard, PNL, deep drive, AI investment thesis. Oh my God, it's a too detailed prompt. I guess then prompt is the game and contest. Getting started with GLM-5, use GLM-5 with GLM coding plan. GLM-5 is co-rated Twitter agents, Claude Code, Open Code, Kilo Code, True Code, Client, Droid. Droid I have not tried. I have tried all of these. I find Kilo Code really helpful. You can try that as well. Kilo Code is basically a fork of Open Code, similar to like how Cursor is a fork of VS Code. For GLM coding plan subscriber, due to limited compute capacity, we are rolling out GLM 4 to converting plan users gradually. So there are some note how they will use GLM-5 Open Cloud. Beyond coding, GLM-5 also support Open Cloud framework that turns GLM-5 into personal assistant that can operate not just chat, including GLM-5. Chat with GLM-5 on this. Okay, chat mode is multiple to diverse skill. It's in, add this manually change the model option to general decision when we offer both chat and agent mode. Instant response, interactive chat, lightweight delivery, multiple to diverse skill and delivering result directly. So Genome locate the model weight of the publicly available. Although Genome support inference framework including this also support different footnote, this reason. We evaluate with the maximum generation length of this. Okay. As well, we run this, terminal bench this, cyber gene, vending. So I guess this is really fascinating to see. Like we have got some gist of Genome 5, but they have also given gist of other models in the market because closed source models does not disclose this thing, but open source models are already comparing them and delivering it to the world. So yeah, that was it. So we'll close it here. Thank you.